Hi everyone, it's Bethany. I'm here with a bit of a different video, still obviously about planners, but I thought that I would sort of backtrack to the beginning and talk a little bit about how to get started, how to, if you've never had a planner before or you've never had one that worked, you've always just bought, one of the coil-bound books from the office store and it's just never really worked for you, but you see these people with these great customized binders and you think that is something I'm interested in, maybe that would work, but I don't even know where to get started, right? Maybe you've seen on a YouTube video or something, or you've just seen, the person that works next to you, what they have, and you think, look at all this stuff, like where do you even get started? Do I have to go out and spend, $100 on a beautiful leather binder? What's the deal? So I thought that I would kind of go back to basics a little bit. Now, warning, I'm kind of going on the assumption that you don't need to spend a lot of money to set up a fantastic binder. If you want to spend a lot of money to set up your binder, then by all means go for it. But everything I kind of talk about is going to be under the assumption that you want to do this and spend as little money as possible. I've also heard some people that start out with spending less money and their goal is to use a planner. It's something they've always wanted to do. They've never really been able to get into the habit, and they set themselves the reward, I guess you could say, that if they find a system that works and they are diligent about using it, then they will reward themselves with their dream planner or something like that. So maybe something like that would work. Anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. I am assuming that you do not want to spend a lot of money. So, step one is to get a binder. You can get all sorts. This is where you can range from, $5 to $500 if you want to. So again, looking at it from the saving money point of view, go to a store like Walmart or Target or whatever you have, an office supply store, something that you have, or look online, and you can easily pick up a binder like this one. This one came from Walmart. It's a desk size DayTimer, and I know I didn't spend a lot of money on it, I don't think. Or you can even go and buy a 3-ring binder if you want to use that size, like the letter size binder. Or they even make in that same kind of set, it looks just like a regular 3-ring binder, except it's in a half size. So it uses a half size letter, 8.5 by 5.5 size paper. I don't have one, but I can imagine that you wouldn't spend more than $5 or $6 or something like that. Okay. If you're buying one of those, then know that you are starting from scratch. It's not going to come with any sort of calendar or inserts or anything like that. If you buy, a basic planner, binder, then it's probably going to come with some sort of inserts inside. Again, at a place like Walmart, you're probably looking at, anywhere from $15 to $30 will get you pretty much anything that they have there. Okay, so let's put this away because that is not what we're aiming for today. Okay, so if it comes with inserts, then my advice is give them a try. If you are completely new to this, you have no idea what you need, try what you get with your binder. If it's there, you might as well give it a shot. So for example, this is a set, if you're getting a plain binder, you can also you buy a plain binder that comes with nothing, go to the planner section and look for, there'll be a stack, there'll be several options. Look for a stack of inserts that kind of is a get started kit or something. That's what this was. It came with monthly calendars like these, the month on one page, which and there's all kinds of lingo. You'll pick up the lingo, you watch a few videos, you pick up the lingo. But most of it's pretty obvious too. Month on one page just means the month is on one page. And it's meant as opposed to a month on 2 pages where obviously the month is on 2 pages. Like if I can just zoom over here for a second. Whoop, like this. So this takes 2 pages to show you 1 month. Okay, back over here. So it came with this. And then it also came with weekly. So a week on 2 pages, which again just means that here's the beginning of your week, and here's the end of your week, and you can see the whole thing at once. Other options would be, well, there's tons of them, but other options would be, you know, this one page is one day, 2 pages is one day. Some of them even do like they split the page, so half a page is one day, then another day. So on 2 page you would have 4. Anyway, there's all kinds of options, and this is, I know, where it can get overwhelming. So start with what you have, unless you absolutely are 100% convinced that it's not going to work for you. If you look at something like this and you say, I have big writing, I have big handwriting, and you look at, if you're looking at the daily schedule and you're thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to even write in those boxes, then, maybe ignore what came with it, and we'll get to a second about where you can find other things. But in general, if you have no idea where to start, I say start with what you have. Okay. Now, if you don't have any inserts, or if you think that the options available are not what you want, then there are lots of places you can look for free inserts. I'm only going to list a couple of them, but a quick internet search will find you oodles of options. And there are even more. I mean, dozens of people that sell inserts, but for very reasonable prices. And it's often done as a print your own type of thing, but some do also offer them. You would get the package of printed and punched and everything. The first thing you need to do before you can go looking for inserts is figure out what size planner you have, what size binder, and what size inserts you're looking for. It might be very obvious. It might have come on the label. It might say exactly what the measurements are. Or, again, a quick search for paper size. Get out your ruler, measure exactly what size you have. And, you'll hear like A5, and you'll hear desk size, and you'll hear personal and compact, and all these terms. And every brand has their own set of terms. But again, a quick search will help you to figure out which size you have. These are 3 3/4 by 6 3/4, also known in a lot of places as the personal size. That's the Filofax company size, or Franklin-Covey, for example, because this planner that I have is a Franklin-Covey, and it is the compact. Those sheets are actually Franklin-Covey inserts would be slightly wider. However, I've used the same size in here. It still fits. So again, just knowing what will fit in your binder is helpful. So again, just get out your ruler if it didn't say right on the package. Okay, then a great place, the place I use to get my inserts, and there are lots of free options available. Let me show you, for example, this is my month on 2 pages calendar from limetreefruits.com. They are very colorful. They're all and they all coordinate. So when you go over to my weekly, everything kind of matches. If this is something that you'd like, that's limetreefruits.com. There are free options available there. There's also a membership program, but start out with the free. Again, remember, this is all about starting out with the free. Or if you want something a bit more, just a bit plainer, something more kind of your standard insert, there are places like filofaxy.com, DIYplanner.com, mylifeallinOneplace.com. I will put the links all down in the comments, but those are places that have oodles of options available to try. So, and that's what the thing is. It's all about trying. It's about experimenting. Nobody knows exactly what they're going to want from a planner, right off the bat. It's about trying to find a system that's going to work. So print out 2 or 3 weeks. When you find a place, print out 2 or 3 weeks and give them a shot. And don't feel like you're, setting yourself up for a life commitment. And don't beat yourself up if it's not working. Just, move on. Okay. When you're trying to decide so I've found these places. What do I need to print once I get there? My advice is that you need 2 calendars. Some people will say 3, some people will only say 1. I'm going to hit the middle and say 2. One is a monthly calendar of some sort. This is the one that people may say is optional. Or some people may only use something like this. They may have a much bigger one where they can fit all kinds of stuff in. I'm going to say, that this should be one of the two that you have. Now, again, whether you do it on one page requires either that you don't want to keep a lot of information on here or that you have tiny, tiny handwriting. You may find that a month on 2 pages, will give you more space. If we go over and look at, this is May over here, these boxes are definitely bigger, give you a little bit more space. And this one even, there'd be other options. This one, obviously you lose a lot of space for all these extra things on the side. If it was just a month on 2 pages, or if it was even in a larger size planner, you'd have more room. So it's just about finding, what you think you might like. So I suggest a monthly calendar and then either a weekly calendar or a daily of some sort, some place where you're going to keep track of your everyday information, and where you're going to keep, maybe your to-do lists or your appointments, something where you can go into a bit more detail than just on that monthly calendar. So, for example, what I am using is actually a daily weekly combination, but we won't get that complicated. This one is a day on 2 pages. So this is my to-do list for this Wednesday, and this is my schedule for this Wednesday. Over here, you'll see that your to-do list for, let's see, where's Wednesday? Down here. So this would be your to-do list for Wednesday, and these would be your appointments, your schedule for Wednesday. So that, honestly, I think that's really all you need to worry about is picking out how much information am I going to need, or am I going to want to keep track of. And like I said, don't worry about getting it wrong. It's not about nailing it on the first try. There is a fantastic YouTube video done by Carrie Harling. I will also link her video on the bottom where she looks at a whole range of inserts, and basically starting with the one that gives you the most room to write and all sorts of information, and then as you get into more days per page, essentially, how the same amount of information gets whittled down to just some pages or even a whole week just on one page. How much information would you manage to fit? Fantastic if you're not sure where to start. But again, if I can't make this point enough, it's just about starting and knowing that I may be doing something different 2 weeks from now, and that is totally okay. Okay, and then the third thing that I think you need, and again, this would even be optional, but it's just my suggestion, is some sort of blank paper or note paper. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is one that came when I bought these. It all came as part of the same package. Sometimes a planner will come with a little notepad like this. That would be totally fine. You could take regular, plain white printer paper, cut it to the size that you need, hole punch it, throw that in there, whatever you think that that you'd like or what you have. Again, it's all about doing this without spending a ton of money at first. Just something that you can put in either at the back or at the front. And anytime you think of something that you want to remember, anytime you think of something, this would be good information to have. You're out, let's say you're going to take your planner with you where you go, and you're out somewhere and you think, I really wish I had something with me right now. Jot a little note. Either start that page. So let's say you wanted to have, you found that you were waiting somewhere and you're like, this would have been a great time to be working on my meal plan. I wish I had my freezer inventory with me right now, because then I could be making my meals based on what I have in the freezer. It's, I have it home taped on the fridge. Well, jot that down or start a list that says, freezer inventory. And then, when you get home, you can jot everything down in here. So the next time you'll have it, when you need it. Or just start a general notes page of, you saw something, you're out with your child and they saw something in a store they absolutely loved. And so you're like, I want to remember that for their birthday, and jot that down. Just a place to start throwing ideas down. And brainstorming a little bit about the things you might like to have with you. That is sort of why I think, and a big reason why people go to a 3-ring binder type or a ring binder type planner is the ability to add in all those things. You don't get that flexibility with just a coil bound book all the time. Sometimes they may have a few notes at the back, but not quite the customizable options that you have with this. So it's not about making perfect, pretty pages. If you've spent any time on YouTube, you can see some gorgeous, they're like art creations that people have in their planners. It's not about doing that the first time, unless that's your whole goal. If your whole goal is just to make things look beautiful, then by all means, get off this video, go look at some ideas, and you know, the sky's the limit. And I'd love, you know, show me what you end up doing. Come back and send me your links. But if you're just, you know, really trying to, you know, test the waters and figure out where you're going, start with just some plain note paper and just start writing stuff down. If it's something you end up, like let's say for that freezer inventory, let's say you want to have it pretty, you know what, you can do that afterwards. You can add your, you know, your decorations and make it its own page. Start out by just throwing everything down. And then you may find, you know what, I have had this freezer inventory in my planner for 6 months and I have never once needed it. You know what, it's taking up space. I'm not going to worry about it. Again, it's not about getting everything right the first time. Things will change. I think if you speak to anyone who has had a planner for any length of time, they will tell you that no, my planner does not look identical to what it looked like, you know, 3 or 4 months ago or 6 months ago, or, you know, what I used last year is not what I used this year. It's just sort of, it's part of the fun almost. Okay, so where do I get ideas? If you're on YouTube, obviously watching this video, then you probably have already seen the amount of videos that are available to give you ideas. Feel free to check them out. Just also remember that it's not about recreating someone else's binder. You can see the most gorgeous thing. Everything's perfect and you think, I'm going to do that, and you copy it exactly and you think, why this is not as great as I thought it was going to be. The same thing with, you know, blogs, or there's Facebook groups where people post ideas and they post pictures of their planner. Great for inspiration, but just remember that it's about making something that's going to work for you. Because if it doesn't work for you, then you're not going to use it. And then unless you just want something pretty to look at, that you just, you know, a hobby, instead of scrapbooking, you're just going to decorate a planner, then don't worry about it. Just do, you know, just decorate it, make it look beautiful. But if you're looking for something that's actually going to be functional, then remember, it's not about copying someone else's. It's about making something that will work for you. Okay. And like I said, I'm trying to get a couple of key points home here today, so I apologize for repeating myself, but I just think that they're important. Your planner is going to change, and it's going to change for any number of reasons. It could just be you come across something new, something that you didn't see before, and you just think that's going to work so much better. You know, I actually had these... The week on 2 pages was what I had, what I had planned to use for 2014 until I came across these daily and the weekly combination, and I knew that this was going to just be so much more functional for me. So I gave myself, and these were free. All it cost me was the printer, you know, printing it out, the paper and the ink. So I decided to give these a try, and I mean, I'm absolutely in love with them right now. I adore them. They're working fantastically, but in no way would I make any sort of prediction for how long I will use these. Maybe it'll be the whole year. Maybe by March I will be using something else. It may just be that your needs will change. You know, maybe this is fine to start out with something with this amount of room, but then you find, and this is what happens too, right? The more you use your planner, the more you want to use your planner, you find that the usefulness increases, and so the amount of information that you want to keep changes as well, and that's where you may find that you go to something that has a bit more space. You may just find other uses. Part of why I wanted to go to this was for boxes like this. I wanted to have room to do a tiny little bit of journaling every day. And back over here, obviously, not a lot of journaling space happening in these little boxes, right? Like, where would I put it? Like, I could put happy day, and that would be about, or bad day, or, you know, 2 words would be about all I could fit. Whereas this, I get to put a couple of sentences about our day. So it might just be that your needs change. Maybe you change jobs. Maybe you change. Get more. Have a baby. Maybe all kinds of things could happen in your life that will require a change in your planner. And the bottom line is maybe the system you have that you absolutely adore just is no longer available. Maybe you used to, there was a certain type of insert you used to love and you just can't get them anymore. So you need to find something new. So just know that nothing is permanent. Okay, so doing a little bit of recap here. 3 things that I think you need to get started are, so your binder, your calendars, either again, a monthly and either a weekly or a daily, something where you can have an overview, and something where you can have more information for each day. And again, some people might say you don't actually need this. I'll leave that up to you. We won't fight over the little details. Something that you can keep track of, the daily information that you're looking to keep track of. And then I think that note paper is always a good idea, especially if you want to create, a system that's going to look like this thick when you're done. If this is your goal, then start with some note paper so that you can be keeping track of the things that come to you that you think, these are the types of things I want to have with me. Okay, so that's not so hard, right? 3 things. That's pretty easy. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is the extras, right? And again, if you've spent any time on, and I'm not trying to say that these are bad, right? I mean, look at my planner, right? Full of extras. I'm not in any way saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that they're not necessary, and it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're just getting started. And as far as I'm concerned, extras, so anything beyond those 3 things I just talked about, have 2 purposes. Some can kind of be combined, but they're either functional or they're decorative. And some things may be both. Some things may be just totally one or the other. And neither is good or bad. It's just, again, when you're trying to look at what can I add to my planner, just know that it's not, to have a useful planner, it's not required that it be colorful and beautiful and, looks like it, was somebody's art project for university. So, you may find to get started, pardon my arm, something like this. Whoops. Oh, there goes those Post-its. So a couple of Post-its maybe, and picking sizes of your Post-its based on the size of your planner. I have a tiny planner, so these are both not your normal 3-inch square sticky notes that you often get. So these are smaller ones because these are what I find are useful. And then if you want to go to that next step beyond just, some stickies, is some journaling tags, because these are, like I was saying, both useful and they can be pretty, right? And these are just, those are just some tags. These are just, you can find these at like a Michael's or a craft supply store or places where they sell scrapbooking. These are actually journaling tags. These are from Smashbook, designed to go in Smashbooks, but you'll find that you can start looking at things and thinking, what, that might work. So, instead of just having a plain little piece of paper where you write down some to-dos, you could have something that's a little bit prettier. But again, these are what I'm calling the extras. This is not required to get started. So that's it. That is my how to get set up. I'm hoping that it will be helpful. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, things I might have left out, things that you found helpful when you were getting set up, I'd love to hear them. Please link your comment or leave me a comment or link your videos or your blog posts below. I will try to make sure that I'm checking those frequently. And so hopefully that will help you get started without spending a ton of money. Thanks for watching. Bye.